Hello, everybody. My name's Rick McCutcheon. I'm a Dynamics Business Applications MVP, and today there's over 300,000 business professionals on LinkedIn that have a job title related to digital adoption. That's why we do this podcast. My normal guest host, Joachim Schirmacher, is unavailable, so we brought in his standby, Daniel Garcias. Daniel, say hello to the audience and introduce yourself.
Thanks, Rick. Happy to be here. Happy to be the designated hitter for today's session, and very pleased to meet you, Rathi. Looking forward to being here. I'm Daniel Garcia, head of strategic alliances at ClickLearn. I work with ISVs and partners in helping the end clients undergo digital transformation.
Okay, so let's meet our guest. I'm just going to give her an introduction. So we interview digital adoption experts in the Microsoft ecosystem, and we have one today. Our guest is Rathi Rao, Senior Manager at Sonata Software. Let's welcome Rathi to Digital Adoption Talks. Rathi,
Hey, Rick,
introduce
thank you
yourself,
so
tell the
much.
people.
Thank you so
Go
much.
ahead.
Thank you, Daniel, for having me. So Sonata Software Limited is an IT services company. It's 38 years old and it's focused on modernization engineering powered by a unique framework. So my role is to offer these modernizations to customers, which essentially means how to move customers from on-premise older technologies to cloud, SaaS, adopt SaaS technologies such as Dynamics 365, look at redesigning the IT platform so that the customer can, have a modern IT digital platform where they can stay agile, reimagine their business process, and continuously modernize. So that is my main role. I manage the go-to-market for these migration modernization. I am very thrilled here because this is my pet program topic, and digital adoption is a front and center of a successful modernization program that we'd like to see. So I'm very happy to be here and happy to have the discussion.
Great. Rathi, tell us a little bit about your history with business applications.
Like I said, Sonata Software is all about modernization engineering. So we have a framework where we bring together industry expertise, technology platforms such as Dynamics 365, which is a business apps where you can do so much of transformation. It is on cloud and it has an option. The customer enterprise has a option to design, innovate, build those strategic engagement models where they can deliver sustained values to customers. So using this platform, using an approach that we have coined platformation, we try work with these apps customers to see when they move to cloud and this new Dynamics 365, how can they adopt this technology for transforming their enterprises, and not only doing that for in the current, but in create that future digital roadmap so that their IT will be evergreen, as well as be able to see how can you constantly upgrade. You can't just move to cloud and say, hey, I'm done with my transformation. You need to constantly keep adopting this new technologies, and that's how the digital adoption becomes front and center of how do you successfully modernize a customer from old legacy technologies to the new.
Okay, so what is your personal background with business applications and Dynamics? What have you worked with?
So I have close to about now 25 years of experience in the industry. I started as a geek with coding skills. My pet passion was writing software. So what started as that, and I worked on the web technology. So inherently, I started with building websites and portals, and came up to a point where I am building out IT platforms for customers. And now more than ever, it is a question of integrating products together to make them work for an enterprise, right? So that is what I advocate, and that is what I take to market. And I work jointly with the customers to see how we can build out that future platform and technology. So I'm from a hardcore IT background, but now selling the products and the technologies have become my passion.
So you started out coding, so that gives you a great background to understand, how complicated these things are and how we need real professionals working on them. Daniel, would you like to add anything?
Yeah, I think it's really interesting how Rati's been on the actual side of working on the projects and understanding what is necessary and being through the journey of migrating somebody into a newer technology. But now you're on the, let's say, sales side, and you have to convince clients that it's in their best interest to do certain steps. So I wonder, I'm looking forward to hear about some of those challenges, getting people to do stuff that you know it's in their best interest, and maybe it's not one of their priorities.
So Rathi, this kind of leads to our next question. When you're working with enterprise customers and you're having these in-depth conversations around change management, around digital adoption, what are some of the common mistakes that you see organizations making?
Yeah, I think the prime single most common mistake that I have seen is a very narrow vision towards technology adoption. Like Daniel was saying, it is all about, okay, I bought this product now, how do I use it? That is not how it really works. The true modernization initiative would be to have a vision of where your business needs to head. What are the outcomes that you want to define? What are those areas that you want to improve in terms of either automation or digitization, or even a business process? How do you standardize it across all of these areas? It could have multiple business units, multiple geos. So having that technology, I mean digital vision, and how do you want a modern organization to look, and then mapping it to technology would be the right way to do it. So that is, in my opinion, the key common most mistake, which is having a very narrow vision to digital adoption. And the second, or an outcome of the same, is not being able to percolate that digital vision to all of its customers. So everybody in the organization needs to see what is the vision of this whole, even if it's a single product that's been implemented. What is the outcome of that product? What should be the real use of that product? What should be the business outcome of leveraging that piece of technology and all of that? So in terms of that helps leveraging the actual advantages of the technology or the product. See, while most organization can do a training on a particular product or a technology, it's important to train how to leverage that particular product and technology to create value and that competitive edge. And so everybody is looking towards building out a competitive edge, building out use cases and scenarios which helps organization do better, do much more advantageous use of the technology that the company is trying to invest in and get a return of investment on.
And so talk a little bit about the process you go through with companies and how do you get them to see the vision, the big picture?
So we actually work. We start with envisioning session, or initial sort of an open design thinking based session where we try and get the top level execs to talk about under each process area what are their main concerns. For we start with the growth of or the strategies the company has adopted, and against those companies we try and drill down. We get everybody's view into what are those areas they have in terms of a process pain area, or I'm unable to do this and I'm unable to do that. And that kind of sort of trickles down to even a process area, and we get a clear view of these are the most important strategies the customer may have in the next 3 or 5 or 10 years. For example, a customer would say, I want to explore these markets, or I want to open these channels in terms of strategy, or I'm unable to do business as usual. I want to tighten my supply chain. Or it could be I have a lot of leakage in my revenue, so I want to tighten all of those areas. So we once we identify the problem areas, once we identify the key goals that the customer wants to achieve, that is when we build out a vision saying, okay, these are the parameters. Anything we do in terms of a modernization or a digitization must have these outcomes. They should be able to improve my channels or my customer experience itself, or be able to deliver some kind of outcome in terms of, say, close all these revenue leakages, or maximize my channel usages, or anything of that, the KPI that we capture. And then we take each of these and say, okay, in case you want to, this is your KPI, you want to track towards that, these are the areas you have to look to modernize and adopt technology leveraging ABC. So that is how we start off. We start off with an envisioning workshop, and boil down the outcomes. Then based on the outcomes, define a strategic roadmap for the customer, saying these are the areas that we need to work towards, and look at technology to adopt or they've already invested in, and see how we can build out a platform for that customer using the technology they've already invested in, plus any new technologies that we'd like to bring into the scheme.
Okay, great. Daniel, would like to add anything?
Yeah, I think, uh, the role that HUD is doing is extremely important, right? I think organizations are very eager to achieve transformation without doing the proper vision and getting everybody on board, invested. Um, and then that gets you to have a good first step. And I think one of the things that she mentioned earlier, this notion of evergreen IT programs, right, speaks to the fact that learning is not an event. It's an ongoing process that happens all the time, and it has a real impact on the success of the transformation for the organization. And now I'm gonna maybe pull some quotes. I was listening to your CEO, Samir. He was doing a podcast, and one of the statistics that they were citing in that podcast was they did a survey of 500 executives, and 68% of the respondents said that ineffective data capture and human error were one of the top reasons for poor quality of data. So when you combine the fact that it's still human beings using these systems and the importance of training for them to the success of the transformation, that's why we're very passionate about digital adoptions, and I'm glad to hear you use words like evergreen IT programs.
And Rathi, we talk about business process, and I've got a lot of experience with business process, but it's funny how we'll go into an organization and they've got an idea what they want built, but they really don't pay attention to change management. They really don't pay attention to this whole digital adoption, user adoption thing. So how do we get them to pay more attention to this piece?
Yes, I think it is like change management, very much like change management. It has to be top down driven, because it is not about leveraging or using the technology more. It is about how do you improve or enhance the company's capacity to innovate. So that boils down to every individual understanding the end goal, saying I need to do improve customer experience by X, and so this is in my this process in my hands. I need to see what technology I can leverage to either increase productivity. Is there an option to leverage maybe say Power Platform, where I can do some low code no code statistics, get some information? Can I leverage intelligence somehow? Can I streamline some process where I can increase the automation? Is that possible? And which technology do I have in my organization to leverage this? So that ideation, that constant thinking about how to leverage these new features, new functionality, comes only when you have that approach to your employees, saying that you tell me what you want to do, what do you need, how do you need me to help you improve that capacity to innovate, improve productivity, improve operations efficiencies, and all of those goals which I set for you. And then I will back it up with technology, come down and say, okay, these are, you leverage this, and you do these, and this is how digital adoption will happen. So most today, if you see, digital adoption is about buying a new technology and implementing it, but there should be a constant cycle of reviewing the technology portfolio that a customer has. Is it good enough to actually do those increase of productivity and increase of operation efficiency that you're claiming or you want to achieve in the end of the business year? That cycle of reviewing the portfolio, reviewing the technology, seeing, tracking the metrics, seeing whether you've reached those goals that you've stated, that is something that we need to look at as a continuous modernization cycle. So this evergreen IT is not something that you get in one shot by adopting any technology and then forgetting about it. It is something that you achieve only when constantly monitoring the advantage or the outcomes that you have defined, seeing whether that is really being achieved, then leveraging or changing the technology landscape whenever there is an option available to you to make sure that the outcomes are done and you can achieve that evergreen IT with a continuous modernization concept. So that is why most of our managed services offering today has that element where we come in and proactively look at that, relook at organization's digital adoption and see whether we are actually leveraging technology to deliver an outcome.
Okay, great. Daniel, would you like to add anything?
I think very well said. Absolutely, I agree. I think nowadays one of the things that we must not forget is the end users, right? Delivering all of this technology to them and getting them involved on the front end, as you said, right? Asking them what they need and building what they need, and then also allowing them to continue participating in the communication while it's being utilized, providing that feedback. And that certainly is one of the aspects that we make sure that is integrated into digital adoption solutions with ClickLearn is that aspect that you have a feedback loop from the users as a crucial component to the success of the implementation.
Okay, all right. Well, Rathi, thank you for spending time with us today on Digital Adoption Talks. Do you have any sort of closing reflections or insights you'd like to leave us with around digital adoption?
Yes, the game is to charter a smooth roadmap for a value-driven continuous modernization digital adoption strategy where it doesn't stop. You're ever evolving towards a program unlocking potential every now and then. And that way, it not only ensures success, but like Daniel was saying, it ensures that everybody is involved in driving towards an outcome, towards a goal, and helping the whole organization innovate. Right? Technology is just something that helps in all of these areas, but this needs to be a business-led transformation digital adoption program, and that will unlock potential for a lot of organization goals that any company can be resilient through any kind of change, either market or technology or anything else.
Okay, thank you, Rathi. Thank you, Daniel, and have a great day. And I hope you. I'm gonna say this again. Sorry, Laura. Okay, Rathi, thank you very much for an
Thank
outstanding
you.
interview. Daniel, thank you for your insights, and I'm sure we'll be talking to you both soon about what's going on in the world of Microsoft and digital adoption.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Rick.
Thank you.
Bye for now.